Hello, and welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I am your comedian / meteorologist for the evening, Cloud Hudson, and I'll be bringing you all of tonight's top weather stories. Weather as defined by me. So, let's get into it. Let's dig in. What are some weather stories for today? Oh, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Hold on. Working. Hold on. Okay, you can see me again. There we go. Hi, how's it going? Let's look at let's look over here. Okay. Scientists warn of an undersea volcano eruption near Oregon coast in 2025. So, looks like the axial seamount is due to erupt in 2025, according to some computer models and very advanced monitoring that's been going on. This is an underwater volcano off the coast of Oregon. And there's not much threat to human life. It's just exciting because the last time it erupted was in 2015. This black lava right here is the 2015 flow over old lava. And we're going to get to see, or it's not lava because it's cooled into sediment now, but whatever. It's really cool because you see all this instrumentation there. It's very highly measured and really actively monitored. This is going to be great for our data. We're going to get so many data points from this, and we're going to be able to potentially predict volcanic eruptions better. I like how this says new forecasting technologies. Just like we once thought we couldn't forecast volcanoes, now we are possibly able to forecast volcanic eruptions. I think one day we will learn that we will be able to forecast earthquakes as well. All right, Mount Warang, that sounds wrong, in East Java, Indonesia, erupts as hikers descend. And you can see them coughing. There's like volcanic gases everywhere. Y'all want to get the fuck out right now. I mean, you don't want to be there, right there. You don't want to ever be that close to volcanic ash. Even the fine particles that you can't see. Like there's a cloud of things that are affecting outside of where you can see the cloud. That's definitely got to smell nasty, taste terrible. You can see them coughing. So yeah, there's an active eruption going on, and these hikers were just out there chilling. Okay, NASA Parker space probe has successfully made it into the solar corona. It's made it to 3.8 million miles above the sun's surface at a historic 430,000 miles per hour. Let's see. So it received a beacon tone confirming that the spacecraft had survived the encounter and continued operating normally. Soon it will be sending back packets of data. First packet of data sent back is expected to arrive January 1st. So expect more data in 2025. Okay, let's take a look at our volcanic updates. Volcanoes. only says 38 volcanoes actively erupting today, so I'm assuming that means they took something off. I bet they took Hawaii off. Let's see. Who are they saying is in active eruption? No, Kilauea is still on there. Not really sure what doesn't count as erupting there. Stromboli volcano in the Aeolian Islands, Italy. New lava flow has been oozing out from the North Crater area. Ooh, that's exciting. A new effusive eruption commenced at the volcano yesterday. In the evening, a new lava flow formed at the North Crater area, following the lava overflowing beyond the crater further onto the Sciar do Fuoco. This also confirms the latest Sentinel-2 satellite imagery from December 27th. The volcanic tremor reached its peak at around 1840 UTC, which then returned to medium values. So that's cool. This has been just like bubbling up, and now it is actually spilling over, oozing out of the side. This is a really beautiful image that you can see pretty crisp, clear signs of development on this side and this side of the island. Up here, it doesn't look too overly developed, so nobody's in harm's way there. Frequent volcanic ash emissions from Fuego. Got a lot of activity in Central and South America reported on here. Let's see, does it have a wrong? No. Okay. All right. That's a wrap up of our volcanoes. I'm going to move on to earthquakes. Is this going to be a quick show or a short show? I don't know. Oh, I didn't put earthquakes up either. That's where I was. There we go. Okay. Earthquakes. So 4.3 and 4.7 over here in northern Chile. That's at 110 kilometers depth. We've got some 4.0 and 4 3s in the threes were all clustered near Puerto Rico, and we got the 4 at 134 kilometers depth below the Dominican Republic, whatever. We got Dominican, Hispaniola, the island. We've got a 4.7 at a depth of 76 kilometers off the coast of. Who are we calling this? Are we calling this off the coast of El Salvador? Okay. It's right off the coast of the border between Guatemala and El Salvador. Then over here in Texas, we've got a pretty decent, hefty stack of 1s and 2s. Oh, geez, I'm losing control of this thing. Let's see. Got some surface 3s over here at the Juan de Fuca fracture zone. We've got, look at this. Some pinging up here in the area where there's a big caldera under Montana and Idaho. Got big old stack here. Let's see. Who's dat? Let's turn this off real quick. Is this near the Salton Sea? Yes, this big stack is between El Centro and Holtville. What's El Centro? This is U.S. Naval Reservations in the Superstition Hills. Not suspicious at all. Naval Air Facility El Centro. Salt Creek Slough. This is all south of the Salton Sea. Now, the Salton Sea is a rapidly diminishing body of water that is surrounded by volcanoes, actually. We got Chocolate Mountain near the Salton Sea. Got the New River, the Alamo River that come out of the bottom of the Salton Sea, and the Coachella Canal over to the east of it. This is south of Joshua Tree National Park. Also, crazy place. 29 Palms is right above that. There's a lot of stuff that happens out in this area. Actually, that is where 29 Palms looks like. It's where, okay. So we've got a few here. This is the area I'm talking about near El Centro. Up here, this 1.6, that is right in the middle of, not in the middle of Joshua Tree National Park, but in the little stick out area that juts into Joshua Tree National Park. Okay. And then right below that is, yes, right on the edge of the Salton Sea. Yeah, so interesting little locations there. We've also got the geysers, one of California's most productive earthquake sites. Got this place that is in Nevada, Yearnington. That's where I live. Near the Desert Mountains, Sunshine Flat, Painted Mesa, Parker Butte, Powerline Road. This is the middle of fucking nowhere between Carson City, Nevada, and the Naval Air Station Fallon bombing range. Blow Sand Mountains. So this is just in the middle of nowhere desert where the government blows stuff up all the time. Okay. Cool place to have a earthquake, I guess. Let's see, up here in Alaska, nothing looks too big. We do have some threes. We had a 3. Oh, let me turn this out. Where's that 3? Where's the 3? La la la. Carluck, Alaska. And hope you have some luck with your vehicle. 4.0 out here on the Aleutian Island chain here at 35 kilometers depth, and a 4.0 at 49 over here. Let's see, just a couple over in Hawaii. Now the biggest story is this 6.8 on the Kuril Islands. That is near the closest island it's near, doesn't even pop up with a name on the USGS map. But this is like halfway between Japan and Russia. Yeah, this is just halfway across the Kuril Islands. There was a 6.8 at 146 kilometers depth. Then there was also a 4.6 as we get closer to off the northeastern coast of Japan. There was a 5.3 and a 4.6 and another 4.6 as we move down the coast of Japan into the Philippine plate. That's this diamond-shaped tectonic plate. Got a 5.2 at 402 kilometers depth, a 5.3 at 19 right here on either side of that point. Then over in the Philippines, we had 4s and 5. One 5.5 at 56 kilometers depth, and these 4s were all around that. Oh, actually, this 4.8 in the middle of the Celebes Sea was very deep. That was at 487 kilometers depth. Now, this 4.5 is at 319. That was also in Indonesia, like very close to Papua New Guinea. Nothing out of the Old Zealand plate, as I like to call it. I've never called it that, but it's like the New Zealand plate. But like this is the new part is what is left sticking out of the water. The old part is the rest of it that's underwater and subducting there. Okay. Got a 4.7 here in an area of Afghanistan. Actually, that might be in Pakistan. I'm not sure. That is right on the border. It's okay. It's on the Pakistan side of the Afghanistan-Pakistan border region. That is at 41 kilometers northeast of Chaman, Pakistan. And it's in an area that doesn't look like it gets too much seismicity, but it's like the intersection of one string of earthquakes and another. So that would be the interaction zone. That makes sense to be where it shows up. We had a 4.6 out here off the Arabian Peninsula and Horn of Africa. That was like a 4.6 at the what's called the Owen Fracture Zone region. This is a popular location for earthquakes. So this right here, this like red curve in the plate there is the Owen Fracture Zone region. And in the East African Rift Valley, we had a 4.4, 4.6, and 4.7 all at 10 kilometers depth. So we're racking up the African earthquakes. We also had a mid-Atlantic ridge earthquake, 2 of them, a 5.0 at 10 kilometers depth and another one at 10 kilometers depth, hours apart. So there's our little earthquake roundup. Biggin up here and decent sizes kind of stringing themselves all along the earth there. Okay, let's go now to our atmosphere, terrestrial atmosphere. Oops, I just closed something I wanted to show. In the last 6 hours, there are parts of coastal Alabama and Mississippi that have gotten 2 inches of rain in 6 hours. We've got quite the strong storm system here in the Gulf Shores, Mobile, Biloxi, Gulfport area. When I logged on, the flash flood emergency warning issued here just northeast of Biloxi was for a particularly dangerous situation in a flash flood emergency. You don't often see a PDS for flash flooding, though I guess you see them more increasingly lately. That means that there's been observed flash flooding, and this is definitely already threatening life and limb for people. Doesn't matter if they get more rain or not, which they are going to. It's still going to be just absolutely catastrophic damage. We've got between 6 and 8 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are possible. Flash flooding is already occurring. This is like, go seek higher ground immediately, right now. Like, move to higher ground now. PDS for flash flooding is no joke. The other warnings, flood warnings we've got right here are like observed and considerable damage threats. That's not nothing. That's a huge damage threat. Let's see what the considerable text says. Between 4 and 6 inches of rain have fallen, with 1 to 3 still coming. Then in this entire area, we have the mesoscale precipitation discussion for flash flooding likely. Let's see. The summary is that Training, showers, and thunderstorms. Training is when it's moving in the direction of the orientation of its shape. So the storms are moving parallel to their slope instead of perpendicular to their slope. Extremely heavy rainfall associated with training, showers, and thunderstorms is expected over the next several hours just north of the Gulf Coast, involving portions of southern Mississippi, southwest Alabama, and the far western Florida panhandle. Flash flooding is already occurring locally and is expected to continue overnight, including growing concerns for major urban flash flooding. The latest GOES East infrared satellite imagery in conjunction with dual pole radar shows a corridor of extremely heavy shower and thunderstorm activity impacting portions of Harrison and Jackson counties in southern Mississippi, along with Mobile and Baldwin counties in southwest Alabama. The convection over the last hour has been growing further in organization with cooling convective tops as low as negative 65 degrees Celsius, and the activity showing well-defined cell training and back building characteristics. This convection training isn't just the fact that it's moving in the direction of its shape. That's what creates training, but training is when you're like, it's like foreshadowing. It's like recycling. A storm lays the foundation for a new storm to pop up in its wake. When you get storms that are training, they it's both like a locomotion train and like How to Train Your Dragon train, where the first storm trains the second storm of how to act. Also, these storms pop up and follow each other like they're train cars magically appearing at the end of a train. As soon as it passes, there's one more car. It's two different. I've always thought of it as two different ways of train being defined. This convection is driving. Who wrote this? A STEM major? By moist, convergent, and unstable low-level flow advancing north in proximity to a warm front. In close proximity to a warm front. So, we just lost the mesoscale precipitation discussion. They saw me reading this out loud and just said, no, fuck you. But I want to read the analysis. Convection being this coupled with a focused axis of moisture convergence and divergent flow aloft is likely to foster a continuation of locally concentrated and slow-moving showers and thunderstorms, with cell training concerns going well into the overnight hours. Mixed level Cape values of nearly 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram have been pooling across the central Gulf Coast region, and the 0Z RAOB from LIX, is that Biloxi? Maybe. Along with the latest, I don't know what that imagery is, shows a rather deep column of moisture in place with precipitable water values of 1.5 to 1.7 inches. This, coupled with as much as 30 to 40 knots of effective bulk shear and the proximity of the warm front, should favor organized convection capable of producing rainfall rates as high as 2 to 3 inches per hour with the strongest cells. Yeah. Just big flood energy is okay. Let's just finish this out. A look at the 0Z HREF guidance suggests additional rainfall totals going through dawn may reach as high as 4 to 8 inches, and some localized totals approaching 10 plus inches cannot be ruled out given enhanced backbuilding and cell training concerns. Flash flooding is already occurring, and there will be major urban flash flooding concerns overnight along areas close to I-10. Areas near and just to the north of a line from Biloxi, Mississippi to Mobile, Alabama, and potentially edging east into the far western Florida panhandle north of Pensacola, will need to be very closely monitored overnight for a threat of locally significant flash flooding. That is all written by meteorologist Orison. Not sure what office Orison is out of, but probably from the Storm Prediction Center, because this is a mesoscale prediction. This is a discussion. So looks like they did maybe reissue that was issued 11/11. Oh, cool timing. That's also contains that area of catastrophic flooding. Now let's zoom out and see. This is where the energy is starting from. Let's zoom out, big picture. And we see the rotation up here near Madison, Wisconsin, the low pressure center of circulation up here is what is making the head of the comma shape that this is kind of a tail on. But it's not super well organized. This is in the stage of a decaying cyclone, so it's not really in its good comma-shaped geometry right now. It's kind of splitting off, where the circular center of rotation part is getting stretched and smooshed out. Those are technical terms. Stretched and smooshed. And the vorticity and frontal, the areas of high vorticity and frontal boundary convection interaction zones are kind of like moving like that. Like, how do I explain it? It's perpendicular to what was once the warm front and is now rapidly being overtaken by the occluding front, and is now setting up to be stationary right here. The stationary front portion of it connects us to this backflow feeding area over Texas. This is kind of spinning air into the conveyor belt that's creating these training storms from New Orleans to Montgomery to Atlanta, all the way up to like Knoxville and Bristol. I mean, clear up to Philadelphia. This is going from the Gulf Shores area to the Floribama area, really. Florissipabami area, all the way up to the, I'd say the hills of Pennsylvania. They're not getting a whole lot of rain up there, though. We are getting a lot of rain over here in the Pacific Northwest. That is coming. That is in a decent setup for spinning out these new rounds of cyclones that are going to move through the I forgot what to call this place for a second. The so-called United States. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next. What was the next thing I was going to say? Let's look at pivotal weather or tropical tidbits. Actually, I'd rather look at tropical tidbits because I want to look at some. Hello, almost a foot of rain. Yes. there's going to be like places that get almost a foot of rain in like one day right now. This is a crazy, really good setup for a very bad thing, which is catastrophic flash flooding. 24 hours, we're looking at, I mean, I think we're going to get to 8 inches in some of those areas. It's going to show up. Let's see the forecasts. Oh God, this is exactly where we expected excessive rainfall. Let's look at our observations. No, we just looked at observations. I didn't really want to look at this website. I wanted to look at tropical tidbits, but actually, let's just do that. Models. Okay. Let's look at simulated IR satellite. So this is it sweeping through, and then that is what's going to come in the wake. We're going to get a few rounds of decent storm machines, aka mesoscale cyclones. Big storm machine cometh sweeping through here. So New Year's Eve, we're looking at setups for potential nasty weather in some areas as well. As we get into next week, certainty of forecast goes out the window, really, but we are watching wave after wave of vorticity sweep in at the 500 level. As it goes back to what we are currently experiencing, you see that the upper level trough has a nice, and I mean nasty, when I say nice, I mean nasty, negative tilt there, which really aggregates the vorticity. Let's go look at, I don't know. You know what I want to look at? I'm going to look at something I haven't done much recently. I want to look at GOES CONUS. GOES east derived motion winds. Oh, yeah. Look, you can see how this is connected. This is why I love this one. You can see how all of this is connected here. Oh, that felt good. Okay, sorry. I had to like, it's like cracking your knuckles, but like for your back. Okay. This is where we've got some divergence aloft over here in the Baja Peninsula. Then that divergence, part of it, as it diverges, goes over the mountains in Mexico and Texas and sweeps across, launches off, and starts to feed into this flow towards the northeast, feeding into the direction that the upper level winds are going to be going here when we get to the line of storms. At the lower and mid levels, we find that the air is following the gyres of the ocean, kind of, and also the direction of least resistance, the path of least resistance at the surface and mid levels, depending on where there's land and sea. This is just a nice example of the way that the shape of things contributes to where the wind flows. What do I mean by that? I don't have time to get into that, by what I mean by that. Your yellow barbs here show the lowest level winds. The cyan barbs are in the middle. I think that the coloring should be the other way around and that yellow should be in the middle, but they didn't ask me. you can see the low level winds where they're bringing ashore moist air, that kind of getting scooped up and swirled into this. And that can also show you where that low level convergence zone, it's hard to see the convergence on this, but it is convergence when you've got it going here to here. It is slightly converging, though not like at a head-on angle, at a very like slight angle, shallow, acute angle. You see that eventually at all levels, we're moving in this direction of the orientation of the storms. So this sets up that nice training where as one level, okay, the upper levels are moving the fastest. As the mid-level moves through, it creates divergence aloft for the next previous lower level to be rising up. And that rising motion at the lower level enhances the surface convergence. And the more the surface convergence happens, the more there is fresh variable sources. There's fresh moisture and temperature to contribute to the convection. And as the convection happens, it rises further in the atmosphere, getting taken further because the further you are up in the atmosphere, the faster the wind goes generally. Once these are all blowing in the same direction, you get that big, like streaming, puffing, like siphoning off motion. And that's that back building that they were talking about in the mesoscale discussion of like, it builds backwards and down. You don't like build this thing by adding blocks on top. You build this thing by adding a first brick behind the story, like the 2-story tower. Once you get a 3-story tower, your 2-story tower can then move up, or like you have to lay the first ground row in the back. That's where your new growth goes. Your new growth goes at the very start of the storm. So the spawn point of the storm is like here off the coast of Louisiana. But the storms don't get big enough. Like you're not at like a 3-brick storm. If you're thinking of like a stair-stepping brick wall, like a storm that just got started is brick 1. 2 bricks is like you've got a storm that's going to the mid-levels and starting to convect well. And then 3 bricks would be like you've got a storm that's reached far enough up that it is rapidly moving fast in the direction of the prevailing winds and getting to spread its moisture everywhere. When you don't get to the big heavy rainmaker size of cloud convection yet until you're in the Panhandle, Gulf Coast region, like the Floribama coastal region. Am I making sense that you like it builds backwards? It's like it's like if you were walking down the stairs or walking up. I'm trying to think of an explanation analogy of like how you would be putting more stairs behind you as maybe like an escalator. Like more stairs keep coming out at the bottom of the escalator as you, the air parcel, track up the the escalator you got on at the stage you got on, and you keep lifting throughout the atmosphere because you got on at this level and your stair is moving up there. But as you're moving up, there is a continuous loop of more stairs coming out of the little ground part. It's kind of like an escalator, I guess. Yeah, that's what's going on there. Let's go now to just look at let's just look at the Schumann resonances. I've been trying to explain stuff. I feel like my brain just went blank and I don't know why. My words have escaped me. Ooh, look at all that Schumann resonance activity. So we've gotten a good deal of energy communicated down to us, to the ground, from the upper levels of the atmosphere there. Let's see what the magnetosphere looks like. Whoa, okay. That looks like the arrival of some new conditions where we saw that big ballooning of pressure and then waves and waves. Wow. Okay. Quite interesting. Density will show, yeah, big waves of stuff happening. Man, my commentary is just going out the window right now. I'm usually like just full of analogies, and this everything's escaping me right now. Somebody out there is sending me some bad vibes or psychic attacks or something because they don't want me to express knowledge. Could you stop? That would be great. This is like the eyeball contact lens. This is the Earth in the middle. This is pressure. So we did experience a big pressure wave and then a huge release of pressure. So that's what the pulling apart was. Let's see our solar activity that's gone on with that. I think we were forecast to yesterday. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. We're jumping ahead. We're not at planets yet. Let's see. Today there was a coronal mass ejection with a potential type 2 halo, potential full halo. That's a decent looking blast. We have 2 different beta, gamma, delta type groups today. Sunspot regions. Oh no, we have 1. That is what our sun looks like. Let's see. Solar protons, while decreasing, look chaotic as fuck. They're not nothing. Let's look at our solar flares. Going back down, but again, I'm not giving up hope that we are going to see another X flare by, if not the end of the year, within the next month. Still don't have SDO imagery, sadly. KP index is pretty low. Okay, there's that big density wave over at 425 UTC. That's really interesting. When we had that density wave, there was, man, big old boom. Disturbance storm time index went way up for a second. Okay, now let's go to planets. Clicked on the wrong one again. Let's go to planets, and it says, the stars say that you're gay. Okay, that's a good one. Planets say you're gay. It is a Saturn day and a Saturn hour. That's probably why it's such a struggle to think of shit right now. I think I don't want to. I'm like I'm feeling very brain dead right now. I don't know what's wrong. The moon is in Sagittarius at 5 degrees. It is about to conjoin Mercury. God, I have nothing to say. It's pissing me off that I have nothing to say right now because I usually have so much to say, and I know I have stuff to say. I just Venus square Uranus. Uranus is conjunct my sun and Mercury right now, and Venus is squaring it. So that's probably getting in my way. You know what? It is very likely that I haven't eaten enough today. Maybe I can't think of words because of that. I don't know. Usually this is the part of the show where I am just effusively spouting off the top, like just got so many words. And right now it's just not coming. So I think I'm going to end the show because I need to eat food and go to sleep. All right. I love you very much. Have a great evening.